I don't even know how to start this one. Anthony Bourdain killed himself this morning, and that one hit me pretty hard. That was the first thing I woke up to this morning. You know, the past week hasn't been too kind for a lot of people. I found, not just me. And when I think about some of those trials and tribulations that we go through in our everyday lives, sometimes I find that my problems seem trivial. Sometimes I think about how my problems at the time may seem like giant monstrous things to others, and it's stuff that I've learned to conquer. Sometimes I don't know where I'm going to turn to solve a problem or to get over a certain thing. And when I think about those things, and stick with me, I know I'm probably going to be all over the place. This is as real as it's going to get ever for me. Um, as I think about those things, I think about the people that they've hit that point where they don't know where they're going to go next or what they're going to do next, and they only see one way out. And to tell you that I haven't thought about it would be a lie. Have I ever made a plan? Have I ever really thought about following through on anything? No. But I remember when I first started therapy a couple years ago with the VA, and I'm going through there, and they're asking you the usual questions. And they ask about, have you ever had feelings, thoughts of suicide, yada, yada, yada. And I popped my head up. I remember it vividly. I popped my head up, and I looked at her and I said, absolutely. And she kind of was taken aback by that, because I think a lot of people, I, I know at times I definitely mask how I'm feeling. You know, I think a lot of people look at me, and so for those who've gotten to know me a little bit more and follow me a little bit more, you can see through the bullshit. I think you can usually tell, and the reason I know that is because every now and then I'll get a phone call, maybe out of left field, that I'm not expecting from somebody, or a message from somebody I haven't heard of or heard from in a while, and that's kind of my clue. Like, you're letting things come through a bit, so maybe you need to address that. So shout outs to everybody who's checked in for whatever. I don't mean like today or tomorrow or yesterday. I mean just in general. Like that means a ton. And I just I remember her reaction, and like I told her, like I just said, you know, I'd be lying if I said I didn't. I think we all have those moments where we wonder, maybe, what would the world be like without me? You know, does it even matter if I'm here? Those questions we ask ourselves, and I think most people have done that at some point, to varying degrees, obviously. Um, I enjoy my life. I think I've built a pretty good one, and I'm surrounded by a lot of great people. But there are so many things that haunt me for one reason or another. Some things I definitely understand why. Others I don't have a clue. You know, we look at people like Kate Spade or Anthony Bourdain, or the list keeps going. This has not been a good year. It's not been a good year, and I don't mean about politics or anything else. I mean, we've hit such a point where suicide has become almost normal, and I don't want to. If you'd have talked to me about suicide 10 years ago, I'd looked at you, and anybody that had suicidal thoughts or committed suicide, I would tell you they were a coward. I would look you in your eyes and tell you they were a coward, because they should have fought through it, whatever. But now that I'm older and wiser, you know, and have felt some of those pains, I won't pretend that I understand, because I don't think anyone does when they're in those states. Maybe some people do. I don't want to speak for everybody, but you know, when you're in those moments and you feel like all is lost, you don't always know where to turn, and you have those moments where you just feel everything is absolute. That's it. There's no coming out of this. You're barely keeping your head above water as is, and the levels just keep rising. But I'm here to tell you something. A lot of people out there care. A lot of people out there need you. And I know I'm not going to try to act like I know everything, or I'm a counselor or anything, but we all make impacts. We really, really do. And I think we're all here for one reason or another. I'm not a religious man. I'm not going to pretend I am. Um, I believe there's something out there I don't understand. I believe there's something bigger than me out there, and I feel it's important for us to give back in any way that we can. And we only go around once. And I think maybe it's a selfish side of me that I don't want to give that up. And it's easy for me to sit here and say that now. Who knows what may happen 10, 15 years from now, you know? Again, I don't want to say that anything is absolute. I would hope I wouldn't, you know? And this isn't a cry for help or anything like that. I don't want anybody freaking out. I'm just being very honest and real. I want people to hear me right now because even though it hurt me, and I think about Anthony Bourdain's daughter and stuff, and I think about the ways he influenced me, I don't understand where he was at. I don't know what was going on in his life. So for me to speculate or act like everything was great for him, clearly it wasn't. You know, so I think I would be doing him and those who have taken their lives for one reason or another a great disservice because I don't understand. But here's what I suggest, and this is just me talking to you one on one. If you're thinking about these things, talk to somebody. I'll help as much as I can, but I'm gonna tell everybody right now, I'm not a counselor. I'm not a trained professional. I'm just a dude that's been through some stuff, and I'll try to help where I can, but I can't do everything. And I'm not. And I bring that up not that I don't want to help people, but I want people to go to someone that can help them and have all the options that they need to help that person, have things that they have access to that maybe I don't. You know, it's yeah, I can listen to somebody talk all day, but am I really gonna be able to help anybody? Maybe. But there are people out there with resources at their fingertips that I don't even know exist. So that's why I encourage people to talk to others, these professionals. There's the suicide hotlines. You know, the Veterans Administration, the VA, they have counselors. They have their own hotline. If you're unsure of what to do, who to call, where to turn, call 911. Absolutely, call 911. And I tell you that as a 911 operator. Call, pick up that phone. Hey, I don't know what's going on. I'm having suicidal thoughts. I need to talk to an officer. And they're going to find you an officer. They may say that it may not be exactly what you want. I'm going to tell you that too. I don't want to scare anybody, but more often than not, especially if you haven't done anything, you just picked up the phone and call, an officer's going to show up and they're going to talk to you. And they're going to try to give you some resources, okay? So I encourage you, use resources around you. Maybe you talk to your pastor. Maybe if you're in the military, you talk to your chaplain. Maybe you have a great friend that can give you some other resources. There's so many things out there. A lot of companies even have resources available that are of no charge to you, and you don't have to report to HR or anything. It's completely anonymous to you. So look into those things if you have them available. Don't be afraid to access those because I don't want someone to make a long-term decision on a short-term scenario. You know, I know a lot of people are struggling. I know a lot of you don't see that light at the end of the tunnel. I've been there. I've been there when it's just nothing but doom and gloom and darkness. It is scary. It's fucking scary, isn't it? But you also got to look at you and know how strong you are and how you fought through other things because you have, because you're here. Okay? Nothing comes easy. We all have trials and tribulations. And all I ask of anyone that's seeing this, hearing this, whatever, before you make that huge decision, I want you to fight. I just want you to fight. Give it everything you got. And if you've truly given it all you got, I'm not going to try to say your decision's right, wrong, or indifferent. I may not understand it. It may anger me. It may sadden me. But I want you to fight. Just fight. Because there's a lot of people out here that love you. A lot of people out here that care for you. And as choked up as I am, for someone that I've never met in my life, I only know through the internet and the TV. Never interacted with one-on-one in any capacity. If that can upset me this much, imagine you leaving me. Imagine you leaving your family. You got a lot left to accomplish in this world. And I'm pulling for you. Because I know a lot of people have been pulling for me. My motivations may be different from yours, but at the end of the day, I don't think we're that different. So keep fighting. Much love.